right, hello once again, Jeff Scott, formerly of Rankin Technical College. And as part of my YouTube channel that you can see right there, JPS-Jeff Teaches Programming, which currently has one playlist in it, Jeff Teaches Programming-Python, which has about 50 some odd videos in it. I've been running the gamut as much as I could so far with Python, starting very simply, going over the keywords, going over the data structures, going over procedural programming, getting into object-oriented programming, file handling, and now we're into databases. And the example that I did, this is the next part of it, I screwed up before, and I want to show you where I screwed up and how I screwed up. What I had in here before, okay, I'm trying to insert into employees the first name, the last name, the address, the city, the state, the zip, the area code, and the phone number. Those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fields. But I only had one question mark in here. So the problem was in the way I was trying to insert the records. I was attempting to insert all the employee data as a tuple using that query. All right. So again, it had said, really after the values part that we had in here, the next thing that it said, all right, was basically that what we wanted to do here was just have a single question mark. And like I said, that is where I had the problem. All right. Employee is already a tuple, and I was trying to pass the entire tuple as one value for the second parameter. So I need to do what's called unpack it. All right. And when I unpacked it and put this in there and then ran it, well, you're going to see what's going to happen right now. Right now with a fetch all, this is going to be ugly as hell. Okay. So I want to see if I can clean it up in just a little bit, but hold on just a second. All right. So let's do a file, save. Do we have the database in here? Yes, we do. So let's get rid of the database. Let's close this and let's run the program again. And I probably ran the wrong file, as I usually do. Yes, sir. There we go. So this is it. Let's run it and see what we get. And you see, there's all my data. It looks pretty bad. But it's basically showing the way we're telling it to show with a fetch all. And you'll notice that it is a big list, and inside, in parentheses, is each record that's in that list. So they're all there. It's just kind of ugly. So I was going to see, and I didn't try this beforehand, so let's see if I could kind of pretty this up, for lack of better words, a little bit. All right, so we've got this SQL query. All right, so we've got here SQL query equals select star. Okay. All right, and again, I don't know. This may end up not working the way I think it's going to work, but we're going to try it anyway. I'm going to try this. I'm going to say rows. Oh, didn't take that. For now, I'll leave that in there, but I'm going to say rows equals C dot fetch all. All right, then I'm going to say for row in rows, and we're going to see if we can print it out this way. Now I'm not going to have headings. I'm just going to say print row. All right, I want to see if that pretties it up a little bit. And between these two things here, let's have, so these are the employees in the employees table via fetch all. And I'm going to say these are the rows of the employee table via for loop. Okay. And again, I don't know if it's going to work the way I think it's going to work or not. But let's run it. Let's see. Still ran the wrong one. Don't know why I keep doing that, but at least one thing is I'm consistently wrong when I'm doing it. It didn't take it via the for loop. It did take this, so it didn't like what I was trying to do in there. And to be honest with you, I'm not real surprised. So let's go back to this. All right, and I think it's the SQL. Let's see. Execute SQL query. So let's see if we can do this. Let's say here, result equals that, okay? And try it like this. Okay, might still be garbage, and if it is, I'll go try to look it up. So save all. Again, let's get rid of the database. Let's go back to the file we want. Make sure we run it from there. And it still didn't like it for the for loop. Okay. This, I guess this isn't terrible, but I would like it to print out where it looks somewhat decent. And it's not right now. All right. So let me go back. Let's see. I'm going to go back and check out my own code. Oh, let's grab demo 2. All right, so that's how we do it. Okay. So we want rows equal to fetch all for row and rows. Okay, we're going to try doing this. Okay. All right, now let's see. All right. I thought that was what I did earlier, but let's check. So rows equals c.fetchAll, so that one's fine. For row and rows, that's fine. Print, and that's what we want to do. I've got print row, and it didn't seem to like that. So let's do it like this. All right, we'll start doing it like this. Print with an F string name, and that'll be 0, 1. We've got to go back and quickly, and I don't want to waste my time or your time doing this. Let's go back to where we created the employees table. There's what we have in there. All right, so first name, last name, address, city, state, zip, etc. So let's do this. Like I said, I'm not trying to waste anybody's time, especially my own here. So ID, first, last, address, city, state, zip, area code, phone. Okay, so that's what I'm using in here. All right, so let's go back into here and close this. Let's see if we can make something, a little magic happen here. So this will be ID. and that will be row 0. All right. Name, and that'll be row 1, 2. All right, then next was address. And that'll be row 3. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to scroll off the page or not, but we'll see. Name, address. That looks okay the way it is. City. State. In fact, let's just do this. I'll do it like this. I'll do it CSZ for city, state, zip. I like the way that looks better. So 4. 5, 6, so that'll be city, state, zip. All right. And what else do we have in there? So we now done ID, first, last, address, city, state, zip. Then we need the area code and the phone number. So that's what's left. Phone, and we'll have 7 and 8 here. Oops. 7 and 8. That's wrong. There, that is 7. That is 8. Finally, at the end, we'll put a \T in there. I'm sorry, a \N. So they each go on their own line. Again, might work, might not work. File, save all. Let's, again, get rid of the database. Again, let's close this. I don't know why it closes that too, but it does. And let's run it again. These are the employees in via a for loop, and it doesn't like that for loop. Now this worked just fine. These via a fetch all. Via a for loop, it's not working at all. And I'm just sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I want to see if I can get this puppy to work. We're not using this anymore, so we can get rid of that. Query. I don't know if I have to execute the query again. Shouldn't have to. tuple index out of range. Oh, it's because I got a 68 there. Alrighty. That's on me, of course. See that? Should be an 8. Alright, so file, save all. Let's back here. We've got this. Let's get rid of the database. Close this. Go back to this. Print. Alright, there it's coming in. It's not perfect. Okay, but you can see that I'm getting all my information now, and I'm gonna remove that line at the end, the new line. Run this one more time. File, save all. Let's again get rid of the database. Oh, yep, get rid of the database. Run this one more time. So there it is. Now, let's close that. Give us a little more room. There you go. So you can see I'm a little strung here for the amount of room that I have. But everything is in there. If I get rid of, this is the last thing I'm going to do here, and I promise for now. And that is if I go back in here, and where I'm printing all this out, get rid of those \T's. Just hit a spacebar a couple times. All right, so file, save all. Again, bye database. And again, run the program. This is probably about as good as I'm going to get it to look. There you go, right here. Okay, again, it sure isn't perfect. You can see with Matt Berg, since it's a short name, and Catherine Patterson, because it's a longer name. The point is, everything's printing out now, okay? And it is putting that information in. Now, with that said, what I want to do, I got the first one to work. If you remember, we came in here and we first wrote the we first came in and we wrote the insert category records. All right, and I did that. I did it in a different way, and it works. All right, the point is, even though it works, I'd like to have some consistency between the way I write all of these. So I'm going to go to my insert employee records. All right, I'm going to close this. I'm going to grab everything that's in there. And starting with the try, I'm not going to copy over the except, but I'm going to copy that. Now I'm going to go into the insert category records. All right. And what I'm going to do in here, okay, where we've got all this, I don't want to remove any of it, but I'm going to actually take it down here and put in my put in that. All right. Okay, that's okay. We'll fix this in a second. In fact, let's do it with 2. So I'm going to do it with the singles here. So there's 1, and we're going to do that all the way down to here. There, that should fix it. All right, so we got the try in here, and now everything's cool. Okay, so I'm going to paste this in. This is what, so I'm pasting in the wrong one, but I want it to basically look, these two to look the same. So here we have employees equal, so I'm going to change that to categories equal, and I think I've got that down here. I do. So we'll just copy this whole thing. All right, so I'll get rid of the employees that I put in up here. And now we've got categories equal. That's good. So now I'm going to say for category in categories, execute, insert into categories, and this was category description, I think is all we'll need. I believe that's everything that's in there. All right, and this will be category. All right, this got screwed up. There we go. All right, so we've got that. Then we commit. And we'll say multiple categories successfully inserted into table. Then we'll run the query. Select star from categories. All right, these are the categories in the categories table via fetch all. Then we'll run the query again. And these are the categories in the categories table via a for loop. So all we're going to put in here will be the ID is in 0 and the description, which is in row 1. That's it. So I went back and I rewrote the one that was working so that, for lack of better words, it looks like the other one. All right. Now, I'm fairly confident, so I'm going to get rid of all this stuff that's in here now. Okay, and we're going to see if we can get that to work. I think I've changed everything. All right. We'll find out. If I didn't, if I screwed up, you'll know it right when I know it. So again, we're going to come in here, get rid of the database. That's open. We're going to close that. We made changes into the insert categories. Let's make sure. So we'll save. We'll save. And we'll save. Go back to here and let's run this. All right. Oh, we got an error. I might not have copied over the try. That's probably why this thing was all screwed up. Nope, try. And where's the accept? There it is. But it's saying that it didn't like that. So let's look. All right, so all this stuff is going to move over one. Okay, so that's good. Try, see, cursor, insert the data. Okay, execute, commit. That's all good now. There we go. Hopefully I fixed it. File, save all. Did I make a database? No, I did not. Get back to here, close this, run the program. Oh my is. Come on. Expected accept or finally block. It doesn't recognize my accept in there. We're going to get this to work. It'll just be a matter of moments. There's the accept. Okay, there's the problem. I got the try on there twice now. Okay, so try. There's the accept. File, save all. It should not have created a database. It did not. All right. Run it again. Oh, looking much, much better. Okay. So, problem trying to insert again. It says there's 1 and there's 11s that were put in there. Order details. These were the tables created in sales orders. Okay. The employees one is working just fine. Not having this one. Problem trying to insert database records. Incorrect number of bindings supplied. The current statement uses 1 and there are 11 supplied. I'm not sure where that is coming from, but we're going to fix it right now. Okay. This is where we're getting it. Problem trying to insert. ID 001. That should be correct. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's only 6 there, so it's giving me a thing with 11, and I don't know why. Select star from categories. That should be correct. I'm going to do this to see if I can fix this. Sorry. And you're watching me fix this in real time. I mean, what I can do is I can pause and work on it myself, but why shouldn't you be able to watch me as I try to fix my screw up here? Okay, so this is insert employee records. Okay, so I want to compare this with what I'm doing in here. All right. So first of all, yeah, there's my input. Def insert with a connection. Try C equals con cursor. Okay. Not like it's a big thing, but again, if I'm trying to be consistent here, then let's be consistent here. All right. Def insert the records con try C equal con cursor. Insert data. So here this is categories instead of employees. Oh, I think I still do have to put them inside of here, outside of parens. Oops. Let's see. Try this. Copy, paste, 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 paste. Copy, paste, paste. Oops. paste, paste, paste. All right, that got rid of those errors. So let's take a look again. Okay, so I think that's okay now. All right, for category and categories, C.execute, insert into categories, then the field, which is the only one we have is category description, then the number of values, and then category. Yeah, that's right. Then commit and print multiple categories. That's correct. Then fetch and display. Select star from categories, run the query. These are the categories with a fetch all. Print that. And print it did work. Print it kind of ugly. All right. Then run the query again. So we ran it there and printed it all out with a fetch all. Then we ran the query again. Still not positive if I have to do that or not, but we did anyway. These are all the ones via for loop. Rows equal fetch all. Print. For row and rows print. Got the ID, row 0. And the description, which is in row 1. Here we can put in a tab. There's only 2 fields. Otherwise, problem trying to insert. And again, we can return none. I don't think it's going to hurt anything to do that. So file, save all. Now we will have to remove the database. Delete. Let's close. This is again inserting the category records. Let's save to make sure it has been saved. Let's run. Still telling me problem. Current statement uses 1 and there are 11 supplied. What I'm wondering now, where it's saying there's 11 supplied, all right, here's where the problem could be. We've got one for the employee ID, 1 for the employee first name, 1 for the employee last name, 1 for the employee address, 1 for the employee city, 1 for the employee state, 1 for the employee zip code, 1 for the employee area code, 1 for the employee phone number. That's 9, plus 1 for the category ID, 1 for the yeah, that's 11. So what's happening here with the bindings is it is keeping for the connection. It is bringing in now all 11. So all 9 of these plus the 2 that we just added. Okay, so we have to fix that. So let's see. Trace equals contact cursor. Execute, insert into employees. Yeah, that one looks fine. But that one's working and the other one isn't. Okay, so something in here I'm putting in incorrectly. I'm using the something from my first connection or my other connection. So let's see. Contact cursor, categories. Okay, that's got to be, this is no biggie. That's just now, this shouldn't matter. I should be able to call each one a MSQL query. It should not matter. But let's do this. Let's change this in here. We're going to call this categories query. No, I'm sorry, employees query. All right. Which means I'll have to change there, and then I'll have to change there. Okay, I think that's all those errors. All right, so File, Save All. Let's go back to this one, and we're going to make this will be Categories Query. Okay. I have no idea if that fixed it or did nothing. So we're going to look right now. Okay, close. Again, File, Save All. Back to here. Run it. Son of a biscuit. Like I said, this is the second one that's called, and that one's working just fine. There is something in the insert category that's referring to employees. I don't know what it would be. Okay, well that, again, that's just a comment. So that's going to say categories. That wouldn't have done it. Well, what I'm going to do is I am going to take a break, and I'm going to look at both these and try to see where I made a problem, where I have a problem. All right. I went back and changed my original table, the categories that we put in. I went back in and I changed that back to the way it was to begin with. The problem with that was I didn't save it, so it took a while to figure out what I had done. All right. Now, coming in here, I now have these three tables done, which means I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to go. That's okay. Nope, I'm sorry. These three tables done. I've got my connection done. And these three. So I'm importing the file create categories table as cat, the create customers table as cuss, the create employees table as emp. Okay? Then down here, I've also got these three. These are filling the tables up with the records. All right? And as you can see, insert category records is iCat, insert customer records is iCuss, and insert employee records is iEmp. These I have not done yet, these 5. I'll have to do these in the next lecture. All right. This creates my connection. This creates my categories table. This creates my customers table. This creates my employees table. This creates my vendors table. This creates my products table. This creates my product vendors table. This creates my orders table. And this creates my order details table. That all is working just fine. All right, I don't know why I'm getting that in there. Then I attempted to display all my tables. I went online and found that here as far as how to do that. Then I created a cursor object. executed a query, and then these were the tables. That seems to be working just fine. All right. Then this is the one that gave me some trouble because I had to go back and redo this. So insert records into the categories table. So we'll have that. All right. And then we'll attempt to insert the records into the customers table. So iCat for categories, iCus for customers. I is just for insert. You can call it anything you want. Here's the employees table, so I am to do that one. So I'm going to have to go back and write 5 more of these. All right, and right now what I'll do is I'm going to here attempt to insert records into them. I'm going to leave that blank, and I'm going to copy or comment out this, and I'm going to comment out this. All right, so the next one that we will be doing, we got vendors, then products, then product vendors. So this will be vendor. This will be vendors. This will be products. Then this will be product vendors. All right. Then this will be orders. And then finally, this will be order details. So these are what I have to do yet, are to write this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have done these 3 here. Insert category records. And I did that one differently. I went back and tried to do it the same way I was doing the other ones. It didn't work. I guess for lack of better words, you could say I gave up. All right, so let me do here a file, save all. So this one should be okay now. This is my it's got my main in it. So I'm going to open up the insert categories. And this is when I had to go back and rewrite this the original way. So created my categories, and then I had to put the ID in. I couldn't get it to work otherwise. All right, I don't like the fact that this one is done a little bit differently than the other ones are. Sorry about that. I don't even know what to say. So multiple categories successfully inserted. These are the categories with a fetch all. These are the categories via a for loop. So we should have 6 in each one of those. And did I remove the, no, I did not. Remove the database here. Then we're doing a similar thing. So let me do a file, save all here. And let's bring up insert employee records. I think I did employee next. And then finally we did customers. So let's close this. So for the employee and the customer records, they're very much mirror images of one another. The databases or the tables are set up the same way. I moved this out just so I could see everything that was going on here. Of course, you would not have to go out and pretty this up like I did. In fact, I did not pretty up the other one. But here we're coming in here, and again, the problem I had previously is there's 8 fields in this tuple, but I was trying to put them in as one field. All right. And then with the customer, it's the same way. All right. So again, I can pretty this up. So you can see now all my first names and last names all line up now. All right, and I've got to always grab the first one. So let's get rid of these two letters here, Bonix, and we'll make it Bonix. I don't know why, but we'll just do it that way. All right, so I'm going to come in here then. Looks like I need to go over one more. All right. All right, so that's all lined up. And you know what? I'm going to leave the other stuff here. That's fine. Let's run it and see. You can see what's going on now. So that's a save all. We do not have the database here, so I can get rid of that. This is the file I want to run. Let's make sure we have nothing in our output area. We don't. So we will clear this. Okay. So we're right there, and now I'm going to run this. All right, looks a little ugly, but I want to show you what I did and why I did it. All right, so taking this from the top, we establish our connection. We create the categories table. Remember, there's no records in these when I get done with these. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I create my connection, which I use to create the tables, categories, customers, employees, vendors, products, product vendors, and table, and orders rather, and order details. Those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Then I printed out the tables that were created. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Then I show that the categories got in there. All right, this is the fetch all, which shows them basically as a list. And here I just iterated through them. All right. Then we did the same thing with the customers. So this is the fetch all, and you can see how bad it looks. But then when I redid it for the customers, there they are. And then the same thing with the employees. Okay. So what is done right now is we have created all 8 of our tables. Looking back at this, we've created the customers table. We started with categories. I did them in alphabetic order. We created the categories table. We created the customers table. We created the employees table. So we've got 3 of those. And then we created the products table, then the vendors table, then the product vendors table, then the orders table, and then the order details table. So we created all 8 of those. Then we filled the categories table, the customers table, and the employees table. We filled all of those with data, with the records. So I've got to go back now and do the other 5. So I will need to basically I'll do products next, then product vendors, then vendors, then orders, then order details. And the way that I'm going to do this, all right, just so you can see this, because I'm trying to be very transparent here. So let me first clear this. All right. So you can see in here that I have and I probably should break this up. I don't want to play around with having to work with paths and stuff. So right now I've got insert category records, which works just fine. Insert customer records, which works just fine. And insert employee records, which works just fine. But I'm going to make 5 copies of my insert employee records. So I'm going to make a copy here, and I'm going to paste, 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 and I'm going to paste. All right, and what I'm going to do with these is this first one, this first copy that's here, the first one that I see here, I'm going to rename this, and I'm going to call this one Insert Product Records.py. All right. Then the next one will be Insert Vendor Records.py. Then the next one will be Insert Product Vendor Records.py. And then Insert Order Records.py. And finally, we got employees. Let's see, there's got to be another copy in here someplace. Let's get rid of the database here. We don't need that. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Vendor, product, employee, customer, category. Order. We've got 2 insert employee records in here. That isn't good. I don't know how it even let me do that. Well, I'm going to change this one. I'm going to rename it to Insert Order Details Records.py. That should be everything that I need to put in here as far as creating these, printing it up, etc. Okay, so this one's done. Let's close a bunch of these that I've got open. So the insert categories is done. The insert customer records, I'm going to clean it up a little bit, but the insert employee records, which is here, that should be prettied up too right now, right? Right. Okay. So I'm going to come back after the break. I don't see why you should have to watch me in these customer records. Like I said, I've been straightening this table up a little bit. Not great, but I have been. too. All right, so now that's lined up all the way through here. And like I said, we're already 56 minutes into this. I guess you can watch me do it. It doesn't really matter as far as I'm concerned, but let's go ahead and do this. The rest should line up pretty well when I get it all done here, when I get this column finished. All right, so now they line up like little soldiers as well. And just to double check, verify, guarantee, whatever you want to call this, that I haven't broken anything, let's run it one last time. So again, what you see in here, of course, no module. Good golly. Insert employee records. We'll fix it. It's just a matter. I commented something out that I shouldn't have. Okay, I'll go back into this one here. Okay, those are good. Well, there's IAMP. There's insert employee records. Where is it? Insert employee records. It's right there. Well, I'm getting this line 18 here. Import insert employee records is IAMP. No module found. Insert employee records. You can see that it's right there. But we'll fix it. And I'll come back, and then when I come back, I'm going to write the insert product records, insert product vendor records, insert vendor records, insert order records, and insert order detail records. That's my next thing to do. All right, then we'll talk about where we're going to go from there, and I'll be back with that shortly.